This is December 11th. We are now scheduled for our 5 o'clock board meeting. We are here at the Brownsville PUB Annex Building. The meeting has come to order. We have a confirmation of a quorum. We do. Okay, could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance for our United States flag and our Texas flag? And then a moment of silence, please. Daisy.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Let's please take a moment of silence. Thank you. Workshop or public hearings in Maryland, we have none. We do have consent items. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I'm sure all the board members have already seen these consent items. Is there any discussion on any of these items? Or should anyone recommend that we pull any of these items for further discussion? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion.
I'll move to approve. Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Holmes, second by Mr. Sampaio. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? The consent agenda items pass. We'll now move into the general manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And inside of your packet, since we're coming to the end of the year, we went ahead and did something a little bit different. We've also included your regular board calendar for December, January, and February. And for the public to know, we have a couple of holidays coming in. This month being December, we have our offices will be closed on December 25th, December 26th, and also Monday, January the 1st. For the month of January, we have January 1st of 2024 and January 15th of 2024 also as designated holidays. And if you look at the second page, you have your PUB regular scheduled board meeting schedule that are coming in. So if you can start working on any conflicts or things, maybe at this time you can, bring it at the next meeting if you want to reschedule any of those meetings. But those are typically the dates of the meetings that we have. We've also included the SRWA board meeting schedule at the end in December. This is when the board reorganizes. You'll have a couple of 2 agenda items that but all of you will be discussing. And so that's why we included the SRWA board meeting schedule here. And then we also included the audit committee meeting schedule, the finance committee meeting schedule, the facilities program schedule, and also the policy schedule. And those are the respective chairs who they have on there. Compensation only meets once a year and as needed. So whoever the chair is or remains, then at that time we'll put it on there. And this will help for staff to have its work plan in order to help you all, streamline all of the upcoming agendas and us as well. And with that, any questions on board calendar?
Any questions from any of the board members for Ms. Gilbert?
None at this time.
Okay.
Ms. Gilbert, we'll move on.
So the next item is industry and PUB updates. And on that, what we have on there is also on this calendar. And if any of you would like to participate in any of the upcoming events, we've included a couple of flyers. You have in February, the TPPA Marketing and Customer Service Conference. Then you also have the legal seminar as well. You have a regional conference in Eagle Pass. And then, of course, in February at the end is the APPA Annual Legislative Rally in Washington, D.C. Some of you have participated in the past. And just let us know on there if anything you want to do. If you see anything else of your interest, just email me and we'll get everything worked and we'll put, your leave requests in the subsequent meetings on agendas on there.
Thank you, Ms. Gilbert, for that information. I'm sure the board members will be excited to read through it and to see if there's some opportunities to learn and to participate. That being said, any public comments registered for this afternoon?
No public comments.
No public comments. We'll move on to 3. There is
Ooh,
no,
can I jump in? I'm sorry. I just wanted to thank everybody at BPUB, all the staff, for inviting the board to their holiday party. I know it's put together by the staff, for the staff. And I don't know if anybody saw me out there, but I got to enjoy dancing with my daughter. And so we really enjoyed it. So thank you. Sorry.
thank you, Dr. Holman, for those comments. Any other comments? All right. Again, we'll move on. There are no items being pulled out of consent. So we'll move to number 4, Ms. Gilbert, the financial report by Ms. Cavazos. Hello, Monica Cavazos, welcome.
Afternoon. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Monica Cavazos, Director of Finance. I will be presenting the financials for the month of October 31st, 2023. We did have some input last month regarding the formatting of our financial reports, and we have developed some new dashboard slides and that we have submitted to the executive team for their review. We will then be presenting them to the Finance Committee as well for their review, and once we've gotten feedback from the executive team and the Finance Committee, then we'll be ready to present those to the full board.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
we do have, but in the meantime, we will continue with the current format until we have vetted those new dashboards for you all.
Thank you.
So again, we'll be looking at the financials year to date. It's the first month of the fiscal year. And so you'll see the 2 columns are the same. We're looking at line 5, our total operating revenues. Well, right below line 5, our total operating revenues was $20,776,442. We had total operating expenses of $14,520,771, which left us operating income of $6,255,671. We then reduce on line 18, below line 18, you see our net non-operating expenses of $689,884. Left us income before capital contributions of $5,565,787. We then add in our capital contributions of $282,284, gave us a change in net position of $5,848,071. When added to the net position at the beginning of the year on line 20, the $451,542,046 gives us a net position at the end of the period of $457,390,117. Moving on then to our flow of funds. And the flow of funds follows the format of our bond ordinance. So you see on line 3, we had net operating revenues for all 3 utilities of $19,867,733. We then have other revenues, interest, and other non-operating income, which gave us gross revenues of $22,028,701, as shown on line 7. From this, per the bond ordinance, we then back out our fuel and energy costs and our off-system energy expenses and our SRWA contributions, which totaled $7,267,009. Left us on line 12 the adjusted gross revenues of $14,761,692. This is the basis for the 10% transfer to the city. So you will see their gross transfer is 10% of that $14 million. We then have O&M expenses and other non-operating expenses of $4,505,659, as shown on line 15. On line 16, we have our debt service obligations of $2,337,856 for our total requirements, excluding the fuel and SRWA, of $6,843,515, leaves us a balance available for surplus, net of the city's usage, of $7,204,750. You see that your usage for the month was $762,742, and I apologize, we have a typo in the parentheses. No, I'm sorry, their usage was $713,428. Their transfer net of their usage, their cash transfer, is the $762,742. which leaves us a balance available for transfers out of $6,442,008. Moving down, you see on lines, beginning on line 23, the amounts that we transfer out of that, the balance available for transfers. We did not have any contributions to the fuel adjustment sub-account. We did have improvement fund for our capital funding of $1,251,569. For improvement fund for the Resaca CIP funding of $89,296. Our total transfers of $1,340,865, which leaves us, as you can see on line 28, our improvement fund surplus for the month of $101,143. Any questions on the flow of funds?
No questions from the board? Okay, we'll move on.
The next report I'll be presenting is our engineering fees. Our budget for the year, and we're just, again, the first month of our fiscal year, our budget is $3,218,579. That is for both O&M and capital expenditures on engineering fees. Our year-to-date actuals in the month of October are $19,309, which gives us an available balance right now of $3,199,270. Moving on to the legal fees. Again, the first month of the fiscal year, our budget for legal fees is $1,038,508. Our expenditures during October were $94,654, which gives us a balance at the end of October of $943,854. And then my last report is the activity for the city of Brownsville. You see again our historical information on the top of work orders that we've performed for the city. This top section are items that were done free of charge for the city. The middle section shows the items that we have billed the city for. We have a balance moving into the year of prior year balance of $18,108.73. No new billings in the month of October, and so that is the current balance right now. Excuse me. And then the last section shows you their usage and their cash transfers by utility. And so you see electric, water, and wastewater, and then the Resaca fee as well. So this shows you what their usage is, what we transferred to them in cash, and what the gross amount was. You see that $1,476,170 represents 10% of the adjusted gross revenues that we showed on the flow of funds during the financials. Any questions on the city activity?
So are we now billing for? Sorry, microphone wasn't on. Are we now billing for services? I know there was some discussion at the last couple joint committee meetings.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So, in accordance with the bond ordinance regarding no free services.
And everybody has agreed on the bookkeeping of how the billing's going. I know before you and Mike were working together, but
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those invoices that we've issued, none of the work has been done, other than the very first one, the fiber optics, 7,102. The work was done. We haven't gotten paid. The others, we invoiced. The city hasn't paid, so we haven't done the work.
Any other
All right.
questions?
Nothing else? What's the next item, Monica?
That's it for me.
oh, I have one more question about, I was looking at the legal fees, and
Yes.
so the, who's paying the lit fiber legal fees? Is that coming out of our general fund or?
Out of the general manager's budget,
Okay.
and we are tracking those expenses.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Now we'll have,
The next item is 4D, the update on project status for the Downtown Water and Wastewater Improvement Fund through 2021 American Recovery Program Act, ARPA. And Ms. Marie Leal is here.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Marie Leal, and I am the Director of Special Projects and Water Wastewater Engineering and Planning. Today, I'm going to give you an update on the downtown water and wastewater improvements. In 2021, the City of Brownsville received funds from the American Recovery Plan Act, ARPA, that were to be used for multiple projects around the City of Brownsville. One of the projects that was earmarked for a portion of these funds was a water and wastewater improvement project in downtown Brownsville. The city of Brownsville disclosed that funds for this project would be given to BPUB as a subaward recipient. BPUB would in turn procure the engineering design firms and the contractors to implement these projects. On June 13 of 2022, the BPUB board approved the interlocal agreement with the city of Brownsville for a total amount not to exceed $14.5 million. It was stipulated on the MOU with the city that eligible costs for the project must be obligated by December 31st of 2023. And as per ARPA requirements, the expenditures for the construction portion of the projects must be completed by December 31st of 2025, 2 years from now. This project was split into two design and construction projects, which you'll hear us refer to Project 1 and Project 2. And BPUB collaborated with the city staff as to where the city needed the main focus of new infrastructure implemented in the downtown area. On December 12th, 2022, the BPUB board approved design contracts for Project 1, and it was given to CP&Y, who is now STV, in the amount of $569,000, and Project 2 was given to Hazen Sawyer in the amount of $931,000. Both of these teams were selected from the water wastewater engineering rotation list. The majority of 2023, we have spent it with these two design teams designing both of these projects. Now we get to the construction bidding process of it. Project 1 consists of wastewater improvements in the alleyways between Elizabeth, Levy, St. Charles, and St. Francis Streets. This was first advertised to construction in October of 2023 with a bid deadline of on October 18th. There were 0 bidders on this date. The project was re-advertised in November of 2023, and the bids were received December 1st. There was only one bid submitted in the amount of $7,289,000 by Wallsdorf Construction. Project 2. Project 2 will consist of wastewater improvements in the alleys between Adams, Washington, and Elizabeth Street. This project also includes a bit of water improvements between 10th Street through 13th Streets in the downtown area. The project was advertised in October, and bids were received in November 16, 2023. Again, there was only one bid received by Wallsdorf Construction in the amount of $6,429,000. Currently, BPUB staff is working alongside the two design teams, also with city engineering and public works staff, and as well as the city's project liaison team of half associates to value engineer both of these projects so that we can bring them within budget. And what do I mean by within budget? The $14.5 million granted to BPUB by the city must encompass the construction of the projects, the design team fees, geotechnical engineering fees, and any unforeseen change orders that could happen during construction. Therefore, it's important to bring in the base construction cost a little bit further down. Right now, if you do the math, both of the two projects that were bid to construction were already at $15.2 million. That's without geotechnical fees and any possible change orders. So we do need to value engineer probably up to $1 million from both of the projects. We feel that this can be done because we've already started in talking with the city's engineering department. That would entail things like in lieu of constructing the alleyways in concrete, we could go with just an asphalt type of materials. There's a lot of other line items that we can value engineer. But we ran out of time for the December board meeting. Therefore, both of these projects, 1 and 2, will be presented to the BPUB board approval in January of 2024. We have also been assured by the city of Brownsville that the rescheduling and the award of these two construction projects by just moving it to the January meeting will in no way affect the MOU or the subrecipient ARPA grant. I don't know if you have any questions, but that's an overview of the ARPA projects.
Just to share with the board, I mean, during the pre-agenda meeting, we went over this information. The concern was we only had one bid for these projects, but there's also a pretty good explanation or understanding that there was just not that many companies out there capable of doing this work that are bidding. So we ended up with two bids with the same
There's,
contractor.
if I can give you a little bit of what the opinion is in the engineering world right now, there's a couple of reasons why we're seeing this. Number one, right now, there is so much work out there that contractors continuously are telling us that they are bonded out. They have so much work. They also have so much work, whether it be at the LNGs or at SpaceX, et cetera, or subdivisions, that they could not get to this work in a quick turnaround time like we need them to. That's one. Number three is we really think that it's 2024. It's anticipated to get even worse. We're going to get even busier. Contractors are going to be even busier, and we're going to be seeing a lot of zero bids or one sole bidder. Luckily, in this particular project, Wellstorf Construction is a reputable contractor that continues to do good work for the utility. So we would not hesitate to recommend them. Neither do the design teams. I've already begun to get the letters of recommendation and so forth for the January meeting.
Any other questions? And I know, Ms. Liad, that you'll have half the associates working to independently evaluate these projects. It's important that the people that are listening out there that understand that the PUB is doing everything they can to be as prudent as they can and really watching these projects from the beginning to the end. But
Yeah, in technicality, we have 4 teams, the city, half associates, and then both of the design teams, Hayes and Sawyer and CPNY or STV, and BPB staff, all putting our time together in value engineering these projects.
that's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned something on rotation.
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate there just for our understanding?
Yes, in 2020, I believe at the end of that year, the water wastewater engineering department of the utility, we went out with an RFQ where we selected 10 firms, and these are 10 firms that were ranked and vetted and approved by the board, and that is how we've been designating design work as needed, depending on their expertise, depending on their workload, and they give us proposals instead of us having to re-advertise an RFQ for every project that needs to be designed. They give us a proposal, they're from the rotation list, and then of course we bring it to the board for approval. So that's how those 2 teams were assigned these 2 projects and brought to the board for approval.
So you're picking them depending on the project, or you're actually rotating through the list?
We
or-
do not rotate them specifically. They get selected based on their expertise and also based on the workload that we've given to each one of
Sure,
them.
that makes sense. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liad. Any other questions?
Do you have any concerns?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gilbert, the next item, election of board officers for 2024.
Yes, thank you so much. And so on the next item we have for individual consideration, item number 5 is the election of board officers. This is a annual, some of 3 of you are new to this board, so every December, this is new to the process, it's up to you. In your packet, you have a copy of the resolution number 2023-0615, which is the amended rules of the governance of the Board of Brownsville Public Utility Boards. And it talks about the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary treasurer, which all 3 of you serve currently. And it's up to the board of directors at this time to decide, remain, change, anybody who wants to step up, and whoever is the chair of the board is who I work with on setting the agendas for the subsequent meetings, which is one of the reasons my board calendar had all of the meeting information state for you all.
Okay, I'm sure all the board has read their packets, and is there any discussion or any comments or motions on this item?
Well, but I think our current officers have been doing a great job. I'll move to nominate the current officers for reappointment.
All right, we have a motion to nominate the current officer for reappointment. Do we have a second?
If you accept, yeah, I'll second that.
We have the second. I appreciate that.
Should we separate out each officer or just all three and just do a blanket? Because it's chair, vice chair, and
Any comments from legal on that?
Yeah, I think you can do it if the motion is.
I can make it as a motion. I nominate Art Rendon for chair, Dr. Joseph Hallman for vice chair, and Dr. Daisy Zamora for secretary treasurer.
We have a motion.
I second that motion.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Motion passes. Now we'll move on to item number 6, consideration of possible approval of appointment of a Brownsville Public Utilities Board representative to the Southwest Regional Water Authority.
Yep. And at this time, Dr. Holman was filling a gap from when we had a change in a board leadership. And so at this time, it's up to the board to either remain, change, or leave. And Dr. Holman has been doing a very good job at SRWA, and he's the one who sets those agendas for that committee there with the other representing entities.
I agree with Marilyn. I think Dr. Holman has been doing a wonderful job. And I will motion to nominate Dr. Holman for the reappointment to as a BPUB representative to SRWA.
I second the motion.
We have a first and a second on the motion to appoint Dr. Holman to the Southwest Regional Water Authority for 2024. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those against? Was that an against, Joseph? The motion passes, carries. We'll now move to close meeting. Ms. Gilbert, is that all we have on these items?
Those are the items, and
Individual?
yes, that's everything for individual. And now we move to closed session, and you may read items 1 through 6.
Yeah, before we go into closed session, let me read the items of the meeting. Number 1, meeting with board's legal counsel for advice about contemplated and pending court and administrative litigation and on matters of which the duty of the attorney under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct conflicts with Chapter 551, Section 551.071. This, number 2, discussion and consultation with board counsel of any contemplated and pending litigation involving Brownsville Utility Board, Section 551.071. Number 3, presentation, discussion, and possible recommendation on the contract renewal for security guard services, Section 551.076. Number 4, presentation, discussion, and possible recommendation of information upon pricing of purchased power generation fuel and their impact upon the fuel purchased energy and marketing charge, Section 551.086. Number 5, presentation, discussion related to large-scale business development opportunities pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551, Section 551.087, Section 551.086, and Section 551.071. And number 6, an update on resource planning and gas hedging, Section 551.086. At this time, I entertain a motion to go into closed meeting.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Renato. All those in favor of going into closed session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? At this time, we go into closed session. Thank you.
Okay, howdy all. It is 6:26 and we are back from closed session. Oh, yeah. And we're now opening open session. I am not Art. He had to step out and I'm taking his place. So we are opening this. And
Yeah, just to know for the record, Chair Rendon left at approximately 6:14 before the discussion of item number 6 of the closed session. Right, for the record. And then consideration and action on closed meeting items. The only item for consideration and possible action is Section H2, discussion and possible action to renew the contract for security guard services with Vet Securing America.
okay, anybody want to have any discussion or maybe a motion?
Is there a motion to approve the contract renewal?
So moved.
Let me go
Second.
ahead and read the recommended action. PUB staff recommends the renewal of the contract with Vets Security America for the period of February 1st, 2024 to January 31st, 2025.
I'll move to that effect.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone against? Motion passes. With that, I am opening the floor up to anybody have anything they want to discuss at the next meeting? No? Okay, well, it is, let's look at the time. It is 6:27 and we are going to call this meeting to a close.
I'll move to adjourn.
Oh,
Second.
after a motion in a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All against? So moved.
Excellent job.